A video about how to partition a line segment. So what we're going to do here first is test your ability to create equal parts. We'll see how well you do. But what we're going to do is we're going to divide this segment into 10 equal parts. So I'm going to use kind of tick marks to divide the different sections. So if I want 10 parts, right, I need 9 lines, because if I want 2 parts, I would just draw 1 line down the middle. So we're going to draw 9 lines, and I want to try and get them to look relatively equal. So this is where we're testing your ability here. So I need 9 lines. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I got a little bigger as I went. Mine's not perfect, so hopefully you guys can do better than me. Okay, so what we're going to try and do is we want to write the numerical values at each interval. So if I were to put a number at this tick mark, what would it be? Well, I basically just divided, right? If you think about dividing 1, the number 1, into 10 equal parts, dividing 1 by 10 is equal to 1/10 or 0.1. So you can write it as 1/10 or 0.1, but that means each one is increasing by this value. So 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9. And then adding 1 more tenth would get me to 1. So each one of those is worth 1/10. Okay, so now it says place the letter B on the segment such that it partitions the segment into a ratio of 4 to 6. So another way to think about this is I want a point that divides this whole segment so that I have 4 parts on the left and 6 parts on the right. So I have 10 parts here. I want 4 on the left, 6 on the right. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts on the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the right. So this is the point that separates it into that ratio, 4 to 6. So I'm going to put the letter B just above that, okay? So it says, what is the value of B? So this point is at 0.4, okay? All right, so let's try another one. So instead of starting at 0, A begins at 2, and B ends at 6. We're going to divide this into 4 equal parts. So if I want 4 equal parts, I need 3 lines. So I have 1, 2, oh, and that one's way off. See what I mean? Testing. 1, 2, 3. That one's a little better. Okay, so now I want to figure out what are each of these worth. Okay, so it says find C. So we also want to find a numerical value that goes with C. So it says divide it into 3 to 1. So I want 3 parts on the left, 1 part on the right. So 1, 2, 3 is going to put the letter C right here. So I want what number goes here. So before I just divided this number, right, by how many sections I needed. But really, when it doesn't begin at 0, I can't do that, okay? So I need to know, okay, well, first, what's the distance from 2 to 6, right? So I'm going to do 6 minus 2 is 4. So that means the distance between here is 4, and I'm dividing 4 into 4 equal parts. So divided by 4 equals 1. That means each piece is worth 1. So all I have to do is add 1 each time. So if I begin at 2 and add 1, then this has 3, add 1, 4, add 1, 5, add 1, 6. So it all worked out really nice. So C then is 5. That is the point that divides AB into that ratio 3 to 1. Okay? All right, so now we're going to find C on AB such that it divides it into this ratio, 2 to 3. A is at negative 20, B is at 5. So we're going to do that same thing. So A is at negative 20, B is at 5. Okay, 2 to 3. So remember, this means I have 2 parts on the left and 3 parts on the right. So that means there are 5 parts total. So I need to cut this into 5 equal parts or 4 lines. So 1, 2, I'm struggling. I challenge you guys, and I'm really not living up to it. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to erase that one a little more. Okay, so 5 equal parts. So before I know what each one's worth, I need to know what is the distance from negative 20 to 5. So I'm going to do 5 minus negative 20. When I subtract a negative, right, it's addition. So these are 25 apart from each other, right? Now I'm cutting that into 5 equal parts. So to figure out what each one is worth, we're going to divide that by 5. So that means each space is adding 5. It's going up by 5 each time. So negative 20 plus 5 is negative 15. Negative 15 plus 5 is negative 10. Negative 5, 0, 5. And again, that worked out perfectly. So they wanted me to find C such that it separated it into a 2 to 3 ratio. So 2 parts on the left, 3 parts on the right. We'll put it here. So C is at negative 10. All right. I'm going to have you guys try this one. Okay, and I'm going to jump to number 5. So number 4 is just like number 3. So give that one, actually, I'll go ahead and do that here, you guys. We got some practice ones that you can do. Okay, so J to K, I want the ratio 4 to 3. So 4 parts on the left, 3 parts on the right is 7 parts total. Okay, so I need 6 lines. Okay, J is at negative 2, K is at 26. So the distance between those again, negative 2 minus 26, or sorry, I usually do the right minus the left. Remember distance here, 26 minus negative 2 means they are 28 apart from each other. We're separating it into 7 equal parts. So divide by 7 gives us each part is equal to 4. So we're going to go up by 4 each time. So negative 2 plus 4 is 2, plus 4 is 6, plus 4 is 10, plus 4 is 14, 18, 22, 26. L, separating it into 4 to 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's where L needs to be. So L is at 14. All right, last example here, you guys. Now we're going to add one more piece. We're going to do this with an ordered pair. So basically, we're going to do the same process we were just doing twice. We're going to do it with the X's and the Y's. So I have this segment AB. Okay. And I'm going to put the X's up here and the Y's down below. Okay, so the X's, A has the point 7,2, so 7, 2. B has the point 4, 6. Okay, what are the coordinates of the point that divide AB into the ratio 2 to 3? So 2 parts on the left, 3 parts on the right is 5 parts. Okay, so I'm going to do 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Getting better. Okay, so now I'm going to do this twice. So I'm first going to look at 7 to 4. So I usually do the right side minus the left side. So 4 minus 7 is negative 3. Okay, and I divided this into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. So this one isn't super nice, negative 3/5 as a decimal, it's negative 0.6. You can use either one. Okay, but that means, because it's negative, it means I'm going down by that amount each time, which makes sense. I have to get from 7 to 4, so I need to subtract something each time. So 7 minus 0.6 is 6.4. Minus 0.6 is 5.8. Minus 0.6 is 5.2. Minus 0.6 is 4.6. Minus 0.6 gets me to 4. Okay, so it can be decimal answers. That's totally fine. Now we're going to do the same thing with the y's. Okay, so 2 to 6. So 6 minus 2 is 4. We divided it into 5 equal parts, 4/5 or 0.8. So I'm going to go up by 0.8 each time. So 2 plus 0.8 is 2.8, then 3.6, then 4.4, then 5.2, then to 6. So we want the coordinates of the point that gives us the ratio 2 to 3. So 2 parts on the left, 3 parts on the right. That's where that point is. So the x coordinate is 5.8. The y coordinate is 3.6. And that is the point that divides this segment into that ratio.